Hello and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. It's No Box Art Box time again, and we are doing number 8. This month I am doing Palettful Packs, which is a first for the series, so let's find out what was sent out in one of their Premier packs, what I think about it, how I replicate it, and yeah, let's enjoy it. It's the No Box Art Box. If you are unfamiliar with this, it is a very simple challenge. It has 3 steps. The first step, you're going to pick a past subscription box, some type of art or craft supply subscription box. Ideally, that's what I created it for. If you can figure out how to adapt this for some other subscription box, go for it. Step number 2, match the supplies that came in that box as close as you can using whatever you already own. The point here is that you are not buying something new specifically for this challenge, and if you actually got the exact box you are replicating, don't just use the box. You can use the exact same things if you already own them, because you already own them, because some other box also sent it, or because you've replaced it since, that's fine. But if the only exact match you have came in that exact box, don't use it, match it with something else. No cheating. And step number 3, do the challenge. Basically, the challenge is just to create art using only what you have matched. If you are replicating something like a scroller box that also gave you a prompt, then do try to do that prompt if you can. And of course, in the whole matching and doing the challenge with just these supplies, you're allowed to add sensible things like paper and a pencil if those weren't included. So this round, we are doing Palettful Packs Premium Pack from February 2019. What was in that box? Well, they sent 7 Karin Brushmarker Pro pens. They sent 2 Sakura Pigma Micron pens, specifically the 05 and the brush nib. They sent a Sakura Pigma BB Professional brush pen, and a full-size 25-sheet 9x12-inch Cason XL Bristol paper pad. That is 100 pound or 260 GSM smooth Bristol. So, for those Karin brush markers, I do have 3 Karin Brushmarker Pros. This came in a scroller box earlier this year. It was the one that was, the theme was plumage, but I only have 3. Box we're replicating had 7, so I'm not going to use these. Instead, I've grabbed 7 of my Winsor & Newton watercolor markers. So these are double-ended brush and bullet nib watercolor in a markers, not a water-soluble ink, but actually a watercolor ink. So any sort of watercolor ink pen would be best for replicating this, but if you don't have that, then your choice is either to go with actual watercolor or a water-soluble ink pen of some sort. Next up, those Micron pens. I do happen to have those exact pens. I have all of the main Microns. So this is the 05. That's what that nib looks like. It's actually a 0.45mm nib. That's how these fine liners in the Japanese style go. If you don't have this, absolutely any 05 0.45mm fine liner pen will do in its place. The brush looks like this. It's a pretty small brush. As for the Sakura Professional, the BB, I have that one as well, and I will be using it since I have it. And I've never had a Palettful Packs box, so I definitely didn't get it in that. And then Cason XL Bristol paper. I don't own Cason Bristol. I do have Daler-Rown Simply Line Bristol paper. This is slightly lighter weight. The Cason is 100 pound, this is 90 pound, but other than that, this is exactly the same thing. If you don't have Bristol paper on hand, the point here is to have a medium to heavyweight paper that is a very smooth smooth finish. So my recommendation then would be a cardstock, perhaps even a thicker marker paper. So here we go. I got my fine liners, I got my Bristol paper, I have my watercolor pens. Let's go. Let's make some art, pretending that this is the February 2019 Premier Palettful Pack. If you watched No Box Art Box number 7, then you know I gave a shout out to Weblight Dreams for being the first other artist I know of to make a No Box Art Box video. Well, she challenged 3 other artists in that video, and they've all committed to doing the challenge as well. At the time of recording this voiceover, 2 of them have put out their videos, and those are on the playlist right now. And Weblight Dreams challenged more artists in her second No Box Art Box video. This is so exciting. I am so glad this is finally starting to take off. So if you're up for more No Box Art Box after this, go check out Weblight Dreams, K Logan Art, and Pace Mask. I'll have all of their most recent No Box Art Box videos linked down below. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. I upload every Tuesday and Thursday at minimum, and some weeks I have additional bonus content. If you like No Box Art Box in particular, I do try to do it monthly, and I love seeing you try it too. Use the hashtag NoBoxArtBox, all one word, when you post it anywhere on social media. I'll be looking. I'm also periodically looking for new No Box Art Box videos here on YouTube so I can add them to the master No Box Art Box playlist. Check out that playlist for more of this challenge from multiple artists. Everyone is welcome and encouraged to try it out, but as per usual, I'm going to take a moment to specifically challenge a few artists I follow personally. Eventually, I'll cycle back and start re-challenging the bigger name channels I've already tagged, since none of them have done it yet, but it's not time for that yet. This month, I challenge HIT Art, The Artistic Newfie, Catvok, and Emily Artful. For this piece, I found my reference on Paint My Photo, which is a photography and art sharing community website. It's at pmp-art.com. By the way, if you just search for Paint My Photo, you'll likely end up on a website that applies filters to photos you upload. Not the same thing. If you're also on Paint My Photo, you might have already seen this one. I titled it Expression, and I referenced a photo by user Brecca Baru. Due to website policies and the fact that the photographer never got back to me about her preferences, I can't show you the reference photo, but with that information I've just given you, you can find it if you want to. I wanted to have fun with the limited color palette and explore different ways to use these watercolor markers than trying to make the end result look exactly like traditional watercolor. I noticed that the cadmium yellow hue behaves a bit differently than the rest of the colors I used. It looks and feels thicker when it goes down directly from the marker, and it's a bit more overpowering in blends. I'm not convinced that Bristol paper is the best choice for use with watercolor markers, but it's also certainly not the worst. Normally I recommend Bristol as a good alternative to thicker coated marker papers along with plain old heavyweight cardstock. Some pencil artists love Bristol while others hate it. It's all about how much tooth you like with your pencils. I personally haven't done a lot of pencil work on smooth papers, so the jury's still out in my opinion. How about you? What's your opinion on it? So, Palettful Packs is not a subscription box I've tried yet. I was curious to figure out if I thought this one would be worth it compared to the other boxes I've tried out, so I did my research on what the supplies they sent out in this box cost and what the savings are with their plan prices and shipping. As per usual, I've got all the prices and math worked out in the description down below, and everything's in USD, CAD, and pounds. The monthly cost for the Premier pack, which is their higher tier like Sketchbox Premium rather than Basic, is $35.98 USD with discounts if you prepay longer terms. Shipping in the USA is free and costs $10 US to ship to Canada or $15 US to ship everywhere else that they ship. I looked up Amazon listings for the original box contents to get an idea of the value, and it worked out to $37.88 US, which means Americans get a deal on the price of the supplies even at the full subscription price. Due to the high costs of shipping, however, international customers are not getting a deal even at the 12-month discount. That's unfortunate and shows how expensive shipping can make these services when you're
not in the country of origin, given that the savings on a 12-month prepaid plan is equivalent to a free box and then some during that year. Someday, when I've got more money to throw around at such things, I may actually try this service rather than just replicating it, just to say I did. If anyone at Palettful Packs is watching and wants another YouTube artist and or art blogger to put out a review, well, feel free to get in contact with me. I'm definitely open to receiving boxes in exchange for in-depth reviews. But I've talked long enough. Thanks for hanging out and watching. Don't forget to check out the other great artists doing this challenge, and let me know where to find your art if you try the No Box Art Box challenge yourself. Bye!